Welcome back to another podcast of His Gems Speak. I'm your host, Kathy Kipps, and today we're actually going to be starting a series of the waiting season. Yes, for my single Christian girly pops, the waiting season is very much real and it comes in so many stages. And quite frankly, I don't think we talk about it enough. So let's talk about it. Let's start off with, why are you single? If there's something that has bothered me as a Christian single girly pop, is when people say, why are you single though? You're so beautiful. You're a woman of God. You have so much to give, etc. Yes, honey, I know that. I'm not single just because. I'm single by choice. It's not because I can't get a man. There's many men, okay? But where's the man? That's the question. I'm on God's timing, God's clock, and sometimes it doesn't feel like it aligns to ours. So we feel a little bit pressed and feel a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes we get sad. The Lord says in His word that He's making all things new. Now, if we start plugging in that mindset that God is doing something new, maybe you'll get out of God's way and trying to force things with past people or new people that give you red flags. And you're just like, maybe I'm being a little harsh, or maybe I'm being a little picky, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying this because this is a real thing. Coming from a girly who has a very kind soul, a very good heart, and just a good person in general, okay? We love giving people the benefit of the doubt. Now, girl, if you haven't started praying for your husband, it could be because you seriously don't know what you want yet in a person. It also could be that maybe you haven't learned enough things to know what you want. That's another thing. Okay? Some of us go in one relationship and God takes us out of it, or we get out of it, or whatever the case was, and we realize our mistakes. We realize what went bad. And from there, we're able to just plug everything off and wait on God after that one situationship or after that one relationship. Some of us, others, it takes more than just one flunked failed relationship, and we have to go through it again with some different character. All right, we learn at different paces. And for the girly pops who are able to reserve themselves to literally wait on God and not go through all that mess and waste of time, I give it to y'all. I really give it to y'all. I pray that God protects you guys and God really conceals you until your husband finds you, okay? Don't settle. Listen to the stories of others who went through it, okay? You're not missing out on anything if it requires you settling and lowering your standards and also lowering what honors God. So I'm going to ask again, why are you single? Was it because you went through something very traumatic and then you were like, you know what, screw love. I don't want nothing to do with love. It was like your inner lover girl was crushed and you feel like she died and can never resurrect again. Or is it because you are obedient and you're like, I'm going to wait on God? What's the reason? Both of these answers are choices. So you're not just single just because. It's because you made a choice, honestly. Whatever the reason behind the choice, you still made that choice. So don't let people bring you down and ask you, why are you still single? Where's your man? Are you doing enough? Are you getting out there enough to get a man? Unfortunately, this is something I tell my personal girly pops that I know, right? That I've shared bread with. God doesn't do Amazon Prime. God doesn't deliver your man to your doorstep. It sucks, yes, because we have some Christian girly pops, maybe a lot of them, that are home potties. The goodies, right? The good girls. We're not baddies. We are goodies. Let's make that a thing. Forget the baddies, okay? The baddies are the baddies, but we are the goodies. We are the goody two-shoes. We are the goodies that stay at home. We got the goodies as well, okay? We look good. We smell good. We worship good, and we walk good. So we are a whole different breed, okay? The goodies, a lot of us, we be staying at home, and that's the problem, okay? Not saying that you have to change your routine to be desperately finding a man, no. But let's say if you get invited to an event, okay, if you get an invitation to go somewhere, if you're constantly declining and deep down you want to get married one day, you want to have a family one day, guess what? You're declining opportunities where maybe your husband will be in that location and you don't know it. How would you know? How would you know if you don't go? Hello?
Okay.
So something I tell the girly pops all the time is get dressed like you're going on a first date or like you're going out with your girls. Okay, even if you're going to these events alone, get dressed that when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you're looking at yourself walking past that piece of glass in the streets, okay, we all know that we do a little side glance to see if we're looking good. Get dressed up that you're pleased at what you see in the mirror in the reflection. I'm a girly pop that I've been literally labeled for being extra with my outfits when I get ready, my makeup, the full glam, because you know what? I do this for me. I do it for me first. And guess what? That radiates when you do something for you and not for others. That radiates on the outside. That attracts people to you. Believe it or not. It starts with you. And have those moments where, like, you know what? Yes, my outfit is T. I'm looking 10 out of 10. Like, those moments are very important to have with yourself. Okay? Before you get into a relationship, before you are found by your husband, if you don't have that attitude, if you don't have that energy, guess what? The only thing that's going to be carrying you afloat is this man's compliments. Not saying that your husband is not going to be giving you compliments and is going to be starving you out of the compliments that he can give you. No. But let me just say this. If Christ is not the center of your foundation that defines you in each and every way, that gives you validation, if you don't give yourself your own self affirmations in the morning of how you feel yourself, how you look at yourself, and look at yourself through heaven's eyes, then when this man, let's say he's busy or whatever, and he doesn't compliment you that day, it's going to affect you massively. I don't know if any other girly pop out in the world has went through this, but when I gave a man so much power over me, like I would like wear a cute outfit knowing that he would dig it, he was gonna love it, that he was gonna be head over heels over the outfit when he see me all glammed up and whatnot, wearing what he likes, right? Now, it was not even something I liked, okay? It was what I knew he would like, and he didn't give me the compliment. Girl, I was having a Titanic moment where like the ship was sinking and I was crashing out. And the thing is, I wouldn't tell him jack. I wouldn't tell him nothing, okay? It was all my face. Like, you would tell that I was freaking pissed. And guess what? This man had the skill of reading between the lines, and he was like, oh, why are you mad? Why are you in a bad mood? The craziest thing I heard a man tell me, y'all, is that, oh, I complimented you in my head. Really now? So now I have the ability of God, and I could read your mind and hear what you're saying when you look at me, when you glance at me. Yeah. Sure. I don't know what spiritual level you're on. I don't know. Comment down below what y'all think about that, but that was insane. Long story short, when God rescued me out of that relationship, because yes, he rescued me. There is no doubt in my body, in my soul, my mind, and my heart that that was a rescue mission. It was a rescue mission, okay? Sometimes when God rearranges our lives or takes people that we really wanted it to be them to get married to and etc., we don't get it. We fight God on it. We end up becoming very doubtful. We end up losing trust in God because things didn't turn out our way, the way that we thought it was being planned out. Because everything starts up nice, all right? Every relationship starts off peaches and cream, color rosa, like we say in Spanish. But guess what, you guys? They sell you that facade in the beginning, and then it catches up to them later on. Okay, if there's any piece of advice that I would tell the next single girly pop in her waiting season that hasn't come across a man that fits her prayer that she asked God for, when a man asks you, what kind of man are you looking for or are you waiting upon? Do not answer that question. Do not answer that question, girls, women, queens, gems. Don't answer that question. Why? Because you're giving this man the blueprint, the instructions of what to do to get you. Hello? We don't want to give out cheat sheets. Show me who you are and I'll see if you classify it. How about that? How about that? A simple way you can answer him is by saying, I know what I'm looking for. I know whom I'm waiting upon. How about you just show me how you are, who you are, and I see if it matches. I'm open to getting to know you more, etc., etc. No harsh feelings. You don't need to make the room awkward. Just tell them I want to see who you are. If who you are matches who I prayed for to be in my life, then that's my answer. And then we can just go afloat from there and let God take the wheel. Okay? Please don't give them instructions, y'all. That is a cheat sheet. They will do exactly what you said. And then once they have you, gone. everything becomes lazy mode. They don't want to do it anymore because they got you under their finger. And I'm sorry, I'm nobody's key ring, okay? I'm someone that's supposed to be ringed up. See, your girlie is still single, and I'm happy, and I'm at peace, and I'm not losing sleep over some man who doesn't know what he wants. Now, I want to speak to the girlie who is struggling being single. There are a few pointers as to why you could be struggling, and I need you to hear me out. This is an assignment with yourself, okay? If you find yourself giving so many guys a chance, or the same guy another opportunity, and nothing is changing, they're not the issue. They're a piece, a fragment of the issue. You are the big loaf, the big chunk that is the problem here. Why? You don't know how to be with yourself. I'm going to repeat that again. You don't know how to be with yourself. You have not fallen in love with yourself. Yes, falling in love with yourself is a real thing. Okay? And you don't know how to do that if you've never been isolated, if you've never been alone. Now, if you ask me, Kati, like, how would I do that? How can I get to that point, to that level in my life? I need you to do two things. One, try to make a list of pros, not cons, because it's so easy for us to point out our imperfections, what we don't like about ourselves, what we're not good at. I want you to write a list of 5 things that you love about yourself or that you're good at. 5 things, 5 qualities of yourself. If you cannot complete those 5 traits, and no, I'm not talking about physical stuff. I am talking about how your mind works, how your heart works, how you operate, how you carry yourself throughout the day. If you cannot write those 5 things on a list, it's a bit sad, I will say that, but it can still be fixed and God can still turn things around for you. How, Kathy? How can I do that? Become very observant, okay? And I'm talking about you actually isolating yourself, which means not hanging out with your friends every day, not having yourself space, your own time, your me time. You need to make your me time a priority. Now, when I say become extra observant, what I mean by that is start to look at yourself from an outer perspective, from an outer lens, like if you are a person on the outside looking at yourself. So pay attention to how you respond to people. Are you somebody that's positive? Are you negative? Are you sweet? Are you kind? Are you thoughtful? These are things that you observe on the outer eye, okay? If you're someone that constantly people pleases, that means you are very caring. Stop putting yourself in a chair saying, why am I such a people pleaser? I'm annoyed with myself, blah, 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 blah. It is good to care for others to a certain extent. If your peace is at cost for that, you're overdoing it. You're overdoing it. I'm going to be your big sister and tell you, you're overdoing it. I'm not saying to eliminate that part of how you are and who you are, but I am saying to put a limit to it. Yeah. Another example, if you're watching a movie and there's a part in the scene where it's like a very sentimental part and you start crying, observe how your heart feels and why it feels what it feels. Are you watching something romantic? Are you a hopeless romantic? Like, is what you're seeing something that you desire to one day live? If what you're looking at, it has to do with family, does that mean that you're very family oriented? These are things that you observe when you're being isolated from distractions, from the noise, from people. I'm not saying y'all can't hang out with your friends or y'all can't go out. I'm an out body, okay? I'm an inside and an out body. So I'm both. I love adventure, but I also love to be at home, okay? It's a nice fair balance, but I'm constantly doing something. Yes, Kathy is very busy girly. I'm a very busy body, for and sure. But I do say make your life a balanced lifestyle. Try to have maybe 1 or 2 hangouts a month with your friends, sure. But if every week you're meeting up with friends and you don't have time by yourself, with God, reading the Bible, worshiping on your own in your own time, the Word of God says that everything that we do in secret, God brings it out to light and exalts us in front of others. Not that we should desire to be exalted and, be shown off. That's the wrong heart. But more so, see it as God wants to reward you for what you do in secret, because you're not out here yapping, telling people, hey, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. If you constantly tell people what you do in secret all the time, every week, every day, then where is is your heart really? Because if it's between you and God and your relationship with God, it's beautiful to share testimony. It's beautiful to tell people, hey, I fasted for this. I'm fasting for this, things like that. Yeah, cool beans, normal. But if you're constantly telling people about what you do, then that takes away from the intentions behind what you do, because they shouldn't matter. What matters is that God sees it and that you and God are like this. That's what matters. That's what makes a difference. Another thing, some of us are still single, not because God doesn't want to bring us our future hubby and whatnot. Some of us are focused on the wrong thing. And I have been guilty for that. I've guilt tripped myself so many times. I'm going to give you guys a little story. Back then, after I was dumped, after like 6 months of grieving and like losing my crap and all those things, I was like, you know what, God, I think I just need to start fresh. I need a fresh start. And I started booking concerts, conferences, buying tickets to go to these events. And when I would go to these events, of course, like I said earlier, your girl dolled up, I smelled good, I looked good, I felt good. I also felt like I was finally moving on. So I thought, okay. And when I got to the event, I was very hopeful that a man would approach me, that some random man would approach me, and that man would automatically end up being my husband. That mindset was more heavier than my desire to just go and worship and receive. Okay, that's crazy, because the thing is, when it wouldn't happen, obviously it hasn't happened yet. Okay, when the events would end and no man approached me and we had kicked it off and had a conversation, things like that. Mind you, there was 2 events where I was approached, but they were counterfeits and they were not my man. They were not my husband. Okay, I will do another podcast. This is a series where I'll tell you more stories about what I went through as an example of what to look out for, what to be aware about, or simply things that you can relate with and be like, wow, I thought I was the only one that went through that, and that's crazy. You know what? God is good, because we are all the same gems under the same glass, under the same God, under the same King of Kings. So when I would leave those events, guys, and I would get into my car, I had a spirit of sadness sink deep into my being, because I was like, dang, I came all the way to Philadelphia. I drove all the way to New Jersey. I went here, I went there. For what? I didn't come across a man that wanted to court me to marriage. That's crazy. So my focus, my reasons behind why I was doing these things, instead of seeking God, I was seeking a man. And I was like, you know what? I'm not okay. I'm not okay, because where is my heart at? My heart is not with God. My heart is not centered in God. My heart still has its own goals, intentions, and ambitions. And it's just not right. It was getting to a point where it wasn't sitting well with me. So I kept on getting tired, and the Lord allowed this to happen, of course, to teach me this lesson so I could pass it on to the next girly pop, that where is your focus really? The word of God says, seek thy kingdom first and everything else will be added onto you. Not the other way around. And then as I started to get frustrated with myself, because yes, it wasn't the only event that happened, I continued to do the same thing with the same intention behind it. And at one point I had enough. So I was like, you know what, God, I'm gonna stop going to events, period. Okay, so I slowed down my calendar and I stopped going out to these events. Instead, I started planning self dates with God. It may sound crazy, guys, but it did something in my relationship with God. It switched something in my brain, in my heart, in my spirit, in myself. Why? Because when you start dating Jesus, not only do you receive more from him, but you become like him. So here's something I'll say to the next girly. Most of us girlies love taking our sweet time to get ready. Most of these men out here don't like waiting. They get annoyed of how long we take to get ready. Guess what? When you go on a date with Jesus, no one's rushing you. No one's honking a horn like you're some pet to come outside. Yes, I went there. There's men, matter of fact, there's boys that are savages like that to honk at you to leave the house instead of call you or simply going in the house to check in for you. Yeah, there's people like that. It's crazy, right? But yeah, when it comes to dating Jesus, it's nothing like that. If anything, he loves for you to take your time to adorn yourself so you look good in the moment where you guys are meeting up. right? The Holy Spirit is accessible to us at all times, but it's the intention about making this special. So there's been times where I would just grab my journal, I would grab my AirPods, I would grab a snack, and I would go to the beach. The beach, guys, for me has been such a beautiful place where I find my zen in God. Like, I literally find my peace in God. Like, having an AirPod in one ear and then having this ear with nothing just to hear the waves of the ocean. And not for nothing, God does speak through nature, you guys. Everything was created by him and for him. So you best know the nature. Yeah, there's something that connects in that moment. If you guys haven't tried that, definitely recommend it. It doesn't have to be a beach, it could be a park. You find a nice park that you like, that you feel safe in, grab a blanket, lay down, receive some sun. Trust me, you guys, there's something so therapeutic about that. I've also had shopping dates with Jesus. Yes, you heard right. Shopping dates with Jesus. Meaning I'll buy myself a nice treat and then I'll go to my favorite stores. I'll have a budget and I'll tell the Lord, this is all I have. Please let there be good sales. Please let there be things that I like in the stores and for a good deal. And guess what? God came through every time. It was no longer me being distracted by other chaoses, other noises, other things that just didn't add up to my life. So isolation is very needed. Not to the point where you cut everyone and everything off. I'm not saying y'all should do that. It's not healthy either. God bless the kingdom friendships, okay? Because those pray for you, intercede for you. Those have lifted up your hand when you had no strength left in you, okay? Reminded you who you were. Shout out to them, friends, because they are an amazing addition to your life, okay? Don't miss out on that. Don't cut that off, especially if y'all have never really fought like that or never had betrayal in that friendship. Cherish that friendship, okay? If you feel downcasted, if you feel doubtful, if you feel unworthy, because sometimes singleness makes you feel like that. You feel like you're unworthy of love, that no one is interested in you, and this and that third. Sometimes, you know what God does with his gems? Do you know what he does with his gems? He conceals us. That means that he hides us in plain sight to protect you from poor experiences. You're too expensive to have a poor guy handling you. Better yet, mishandling you. And God is doing you a favor. Yes, it can get boring. Yes, it can get quiet. Try to stay busy. Figure out what you love to do. Have hobbies. Occupy yourself doing things that benefit you, such as money, happiness, creativity skills. Whatever is benefiting you, let it bring something into your life and not take away and subtract from it. All right. So you'll be less bored and you're actually going to be more excited to do these activities for yourself. For example, I am a dancer. Y'all see my jersey here? It says dance club. I am a dancer. And guess what? That happened when I was single. After my second relationship ended, that's when things started opening up for me. Because guess what? God rescued me. I must say it again. God rescued me. So other doors started opening up for me personally to grow, to step into, to do what I love. Because honestly, working a 9 to 5, I don't even work a 9 to 5. It comes to the point where I get out at 4. But my whole point is working for someone else and doing something that I don't love, that doesn't resonate with me, eventually gets tiresome. Yes, we got to pay bills. We got to do what we got to do. But you can't forget about yourself. What else are you doing in your day that adds onto your plate, okay? That you love to eat, okay? Don't be doing things for others constantly and forget about yourself and abandon yourself. And this is why you lack self-love and you continue to let people in that don't deserve to be in your life. Okay? Again, singleness is a choice. You don't have to constantly be with someone to feel validated, to feel beautiful, to feel important, because you are all those things. You just haven't met with yourself, okay? The dates with self have never happened. That's why you're constantly looking for someone to fill in the gap, the emptiness, this and that. And guess what? Jesus is there like, girl, hello, like, do you not see me here? Like, do you not know that I'm constantly with you and I've been waiting to go on a date with you? But instead you choose to go out with these hopeless men that don't even know how to clean their butt. Hello? Come on, y'all. Am I talking to someone? You need to learn to live with yourself, okay? Because if you love yourself, if you respect yourself, that's what you're going to attract, honey. And once you start praying that specific prayer for the husband that you are waiting for, that you want to be loved by for the rest of your life, because we forget about this. When we get married, it's forever and ever and forever until death does you part. You're going to see this man go from handsome to an old handsome guy. He's not going to be like that for the rest of his life. We're not going to be young for the rest of our life. I wish. But you know what? No, we're not going to get our rejuvenation until we get to heaven. Okay, that's a fun fact. When we go to heaven, we become young again in our new bodies. That's a whole different class, a whole different podcast. But yeah, your husband will love you for your soul, for your personality, for your heart. Okay? Not just, oh, her body's tea, her face is tea, oh my gosh, her hair, No. Those are like bonus brownie points. Yes, attraction has to be there. And that's a whole other podcast that I can get into, adding it into the series, that yes, physicality and attraction is important, okay? It doesn't make us selfish as Christian girly pops waiting on their husbands. We don't want ugly husbands. I'm sorry. Or people that we just don't connect with. I am sorry. Some people have a type, some people don't really have a type, but in some sense you kind of also know what you don't like to, or wouldn't be drawn to, It's normal. I'm like that. I've learned that as I was in my waiting season and continue to be in my waiting season. Some people just don't I mean, they're amazing in other things, but just no. So today we covered two things. One, you are single by choice, okay? God is not punishing you. And if you're constantly letting people in or back into your life, you are the main problem. And you're never going to be found by your husband because your hands are constantly being messed up, holding on to these other people that don't belong in your husband's spot, okay? No. Second, self-dates, isolation. Necessary. Yes. If you want to do the homework, great. If you don't want to do the homework, it only affects you. And I know the word homework is like, it's like a task, a responsibility to get done, this and that and the third. But but instead see it as this homework. But instead, see it as, if I do this homework, it comes with a reward. Like, you're going to get paid from doing the homework. See it in that perspective. The homework is go on a self-date with God. Whether you go to a cafe, a restaurant, a park, the beach. Now that we are in June, it's the summertime. Wherever you want to go, choose a spot and go with Jesus. Get yourself dressed, do your makeup, do your hair, whatever makes you feel pretty, smell amazing. Go with the Lord, take a journal, bring your AirPods, whatever makes you feel the moment more, bring that with you, okay? And most importantly, bring an open heart with you, because you'll be surprised what you feel in those moments with God. Yes, sometimes it could be hard and challenging because we don't see him physically. We can't touch him. We can't hug him. We can't, right? But let me tell y'all, God is very real. If you let him show up, if you make room for him, he will show up. Don't ask me how. He just does. Okay? If you feel peace after you leave the date, he showed up. If you feel loved after the first date, he showed up. If you feel joyous coming home after the first date, he showed up. If he spoke to your spirit, he showed up. If he provided something for you, he definitely showed up. Whatever the case is, if you get something out of that time with God, he was there. He showed up and there was an exchange that happened. Get that done. If you're in your waiting season, it is a must. I definitely recommend and suggest self-dates with Jesus. Pretend like you're actually going on a date, okay? This date has no clock. You're not rushed. You can take as long as you want. And if there's anything I've experienced on my self-dates, he is the happiest being alive when his princesses, when his queens go on dates with him. He is literally happy and pleased just to have that time with you. And they're so important. So make sure you guys get that done. My next podcast, we're going to go into episode 2, continuing going to talk about the waiting season, what it is to be a single Christian girly, go into more testimonials, and it's just going to be fun. Get comfortable, grab a snack, sit down. Comment down below if you love this kind of chat, if this resonated with you, if you were able to relate, or if you're simply excited for the next episode. Let me know. What's the feedback, y'all? I love to hear back from you guys and get back to you guys as soon as possible. If you still haven't followed the channel and subscribe. It's free. I'm always here bringing you guys positivity, things that relate to Christian girly pops. I'm also a beauty content creator that also implements God into the beauty content that I bringing the old tutorials back, bringing confidence back into the gems of this world. So if you love that kind of thing, hit the follow and subscribe button. Also, send this to another girly pop that you know that could have helped, or give her a push if you know somebody else in their waiting season, or somebody that is struggling in their waiting season to stay single and wait on God. Send them this podcast. It could help them and give them that push that they needed, and that they are not alone, and that guess what? God does have a plan, but you need to let him do it. Get out of God's way and you'll be surprised with what's going to happen next. I'll see you gems in the next video.